All right, Doga Yogi team, today we are doing no hands yoga. No hands, mum. And what I mean by that is that we're not going to be putting any weight into our wrists or palms today. So for those with you with sensitive wrists, I know we have you in the community. This class is 150% for you. So we're going to start in standing. Heels ground down, big toes ground down, spread the little toes and just find your mountain. Take your time here. Closing down the eyes, focusing on the breath. We're going to get warm and energetic today, team. Just because we're not using our hands doesn't mean we're not going to be creating lots of heat. So ground down and just find our breath. Fill up the belly, the ribs, the collarbones. And exhale. Let go. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more breaths here to really arrive. And we're going to start to energize the body. So root down, grow tall. Imagine there's a string pulling you high. Activate every muscle along the way. Kneecaps, thighs, glutes, core, shoulders, hands. Reach and just soften. Inhale, reach tall. Activate everything in the body. Grow and soften. Activate and soften. Activate and soften. When we're ready, big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. I'm going to fold forward, hinge at the hips, but come halfway. Let the hands fall, zombie, roll on up, chin to chest. Oh, so nice. Big arm circle once more, up overhead, fingertips touch. Hinge at the hips 3/4 of the way. And really savor the sensation. Let your head dangle before you bend the knees, roll on up. You guessed it, big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch all the way down. So your knees can be straight or bent, as long as the head, the upper carriage is releasing down to the earth. Spine is nice and long. And when we're ready, we're going to walk our hands up to our knees. Come on up, halfway lift. And fold a little deeper. We're going to do that 2 more times. Come on up, halfway lift. Point the crown of the head towards the front of the room. Really find length before we fold chest towards our thighs. 1 more. Oh. And fold. Really release, let go here. And when we're ready, we're going to slide our hands all the way up our legs towards our hips. Now we're going to get into our hips a little bit here. We're going to bend our right knee. Our gaze goes up past our left shoulder. Then we're going to switch, bend our left knee, gaze goes past our right shoulder. Really waking up the hips here. Bend the knee, right knee, look over the left. Bend the left, look over the right. Now move as quickly or as slowly as you like here, your choice. Really savoring the sensation, or you might want to create a little bit more heat, moving more quickly. 2 more. 1 more. Back to center, fold. Now hands just come to the shins and just pull. So imagine we're lifting up the body, but we're kind of rooting our hands towards our shins. So we have an oppositional force here, getting a nice stretch in the lower back and upper back, and fold forward once more. Very nice. We're going to bend our knees, roll on up, vertebra by vertebra, to standing. Big arm circle, fingertips touch, and back to heart center. All right, a little bit more to warm us up today. We're going to press into our left foot. I'm going to mirror you. Send our right toes out here and just breathe. Inhale, lift them off the ground if you can, and lower down. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. So it doesn't have to be a big movement. It's all about control. 5 more. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift, lower. Last one. Lift, hold if we can. Send the hands out. Star, smile. Then come back to center. Give yourself a little wriggle. Give yourself a little shake. Hands come back to heart center, and then the left toes goes out. We're balancing here. Press down into that right foot. You can have a bend in that knee if you need. Find length, and when we're ready, lift, lower, lift, and lower. I know it's activating. Heat's getting here. Lift and lower, lift and lower. 5 more. Up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. 1 more. Hold here. Hands out for star and back to center. Give yourself a little wriggle. Give yourself a little shake here. And we're going to go forward and back. So I'm going to come back this way so you can see me. So I'm going to go right hand forward, left hand back and back, or right foot, left foot back. There we go. You know what I mean. Left hand forward, right foot back. There we go. And back to center. Right hand, left foot, back to center. And this can be just a millimeter. I'm leaning quite away to kind of show off the posture, but you can lean less. Left hand, right foot. So you can just be here, or you can be here. Play. 1 more. Right and left, back to center. Left and right, back to center. Now hold here if you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then come on back. Now, do you feel a little bit of heat and energy in the body yet? No, we got there. Then wait to the right foot. Right hand goes forward, left hand goes back. We're going to hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back. Oh, give ourselves a wriggle, get into the hips, give ourselves a shake. And when we're ready, we're going to come back to the top of the mat. Sweep our hands up, our hips back into chair. Then we're going to flow with our breath here. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sink. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. 5 more. Up. Send the tailbone down. Reach the fingers forward. Up. And ground down through those feet. Use them as your stabilizers. Come down evenly with control and then shoot back up. We're going to 1 more. Sit and hold here. Now pulse. Let the heels, put the weight, lift the toes up. Gaze goes high. And sink, hold, hands to heart center. Lengthen the crown of the head here. We've got this. Left elbow across the right knee, twist. Spine is nice and long, knees are even. So have a look down, see if one's going forward and then the other one's back. If they are, square them off. Breathe. Smile. You got this. Then come back to a center. Length. Right elbow across the left knee. Revolve. Breathe. Smile. Center. And then rise on up into our chair. There we go, words once more. And fold, my friends. Such a beautiful release. Come on up, halfway lift. And fold. Bend the knees, roll on up. Big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch. And we're going to hold here. So take the fingertips wide. Pick up our right knee. Balance here, so we could just be on the toes. And then we're going to kick it back, balancing on carpet, rug and yoga mat. Extra challenging for me today. Step it back into a high or low lunge. So find what variation you need. We're going to find length here and sink a little deeper in your low lunge. And if you are in your high lunge, we're going to go from high to low variation to really get this heat going. So find length and exhale, bend this back knee, send it down close to the ground. Then push the back heel away, come on up. Down with control. push up, and down. So don't quite let it touch the ground. Push up and down. 2 more. Push that back heel away, strengthen that leg, and down. Push away. We're all going to come down to low lunge for a moment. Hands come to hips. Just kind of open up into this hip flexor here. Savor this sensation. When we're ready, hands go wide, up overhead. We're going to grab our left wrist with our right hand and we're going to lean towards the right. So coming up, core and balance here. Length and lean. Length and lean. Length and lean. Length and lean. Hold here for a bit. I know I'm warm. Come on up. Now hands come to hips, I should say. Now we're going to really use our core here. We're going to push back up into high lunge. And we're going to extend our feet into warrior 2 feet. So hands are at the hips for now, just getting our legs centered. So heel to arch alignment, back foot squared off with the short edge of the mat. So find that tuck of the tailbone, really take your time. And when you're ready, arms go forward and back. Breathing here, length and sink. Length and sink. Make sure you can see your front big toe. Alrighty, we're going to straighten this front leg, squeeze that kneecap, come into our Trikonasana. So our gaze and shoulders and navel revolve upwards. Sky is the limit. And breathe. When we're ready, bend that front knee. Come back to our warrior 2. We're going to literally pivot ourselves over to the back of the mat. We're going to come into our lunge onto the other side. So we can either be high or low. Find what variation works. And we're going to flow. So find length. If you're in high, sink that knee down. And if you're in low, just sink the hips down. You can still pulse with this. Length. Oh, baba. And sink. Length. And sink. Length. And sink. 3 more. Up. Down. Up. Down. Strength of a warrior. You've got this with control. 2. 1. Beautiful. Come on down into our lunge. Hands come to our hips. We're just going to really enjoy this opening in our hip flexor. Whew, nice and warm for me. Oh, baby. And when we're ready, we're going to come up. Warrior 2 feet once more. Open up. And just breathe here. Really sink into this space for a while. Take your time before we come into our reverse warrior. So nice. And then straighten our front leg. Really squeeze that kneecap as we send our right hand to the back of the room and then down. The left hand goes high. Trikonasana. Beautiful. Gaze goes to those top fingertips if it will allow. When ready, bend that front knee, rise on up into our warrior 2. And we're going to pivot back to warrior 1 at the front of the mat. So scoot your feet around. You might have to move your stance a little. Heel to heel alignment. Back foot 45 degrees and the hips square off with the front edge of the mat. So find your place here. Hands are on the hips. We're sinking down. Really activate this back kneecap. And when we're ready, hands go up. And a little back bend here. Really nice release. Shoulder blades down the back. And just let the hands fall. Let the elbows bend. The hands reach back. Hips sink. Open. Ooh. Now we're going to straighten our front leg. You might like to shorten your stance here a little bit. We're going to lengthen our right hand to the sky and reach it forward. We're coming into twisted Trikonasana. So right hand comes down and our gaze is going over that to the left side. So it can be over that left shoulder or to the sky. We can send that hand to the sky if we want. Drawing that left hip back. Feet are steady. If you fall out, that is okay. It's all a practice. It's all a play. And when we're ready, We're going to really power down through the legs, spin ourselves open to the long edge of the mat, heels in, toes out, star. Breathe. Sink down into a goddess just for a moment, give ourselves a little wriggle. Then we're going to come to our warrior one legs at the back of the mat. So you might need to widen your stance here for a moment, just to come into your warrior one feet. Hands go up overhead, fingers touch, a little back bend here. Really sink down into the knees, really push into the outside edge of that back foot. Really savor the sensation. Elbows wide, hands wide. Reach, open up the chest here. And then let them fall, hands to hips. You might shorten your stance a little bit, coming into twisted triangle. Left hand high, reach as forward as far as we can. Place the hand on the shin, the thigh, the calf, wherever we can, and we're just gently revolving, drawing that left hip back. So the hand can just go to the glute or the hip to kind of help stabilize, or you can send it high. Breathing, pushing into that back foot, activating the glutes. If we fall out, that's okay. And when we're ready, we're going to spiral on up. Long edge of the mat, star. Once more. Inhale, find length and soften. Length, and then we're going to sink for real into our goddess. You might take your stance a little bit wider this time. Knee and ankle alignment, toes out. Make sure we can see our big toes. We're going to like hug a barrel. Imagine there's kind of like a wine barrel in front of us or a tree. And inhale, rise high, reach the fingers to the sky. And exhale, sink as deep as we can go. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale, hold here. So tailbone down, crown of the head pointing towards the sky rather than the front of the room. Lean back. Feel the inner thighs shake. You might balance side to side. And when we're ready, release the hands, place them on the hips, come on up. Warrior one, feet towards the front of the mat once more. And we're simply going to come onto those toes and step on up, back to the front of the mat. Big arm circle up overhead, fingertips touch, and fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift, and fold. Grab the backs of the shins or the toes. You can wrap your peace fingers around your toes and really pull the chest down. To making sure there's still lots of space in the neck and shoulders, but just giving yourself a little bit of release, deeper release in the hamstrings. Elbows going out. When we're ready, we're going to release. We're just going to walk our feet just wider than our hips and sink ourselves down into a yogic squat. Hands at heart center or fingertips, just balancing in front of you. We're not putting weight into our wrists. These are just more for balance, just kind of like little feelers. Now we're going to come into a dynamic yogic squat. So we're going to go from a squat to standing variation. So bear with me, we've not done this before, but we like new things. It's fun and creative. And you'll be surprised at what your body can do. So inhale, find length. Exhale, we're going to push up. Inhale, come down, nice and controlled. Exhale, reach high. Inhale. And exhale, push. Inhale, down into our yogic squat. Exhale. 2 more, lower. And jet up, like a star. Down. And then shoot up. Now we're going to come down for real this time. Really just kind of sit here, release. I'm just going to take a little twist in the spine. So left hand goes out, spider fingers, no weight in the wrists. We're just going to revolve to the right. Reach that right hand high. There we go. Breathe. You can even keep this hand to the heart and just get that elbow to the knee, actually, is a nice variation for this. No wrists, no hands, mum. When we're ready, come back to center. Get that right elbow into the knee. That hand can stand to heart center, or we can place it on the ground, spider fingers, and go to the left. Oh, so nice. When we're ready, come back to center, and boop. We are on the ground. We have landed. So just send the legs long here. You might need to use your hands just a little bit to get you into the middle of the mat. Toes flexed, knees can be bent or glued to the ground. Do whatever you need to do to find a length in the spine here. And fold, my friends. Just hinge over your legs. Just let gravity do its thing. You might rock side to side gently, sending any sensations in the neck. And when you're ready, roll on up, vertebra by vertebra, and make your way onto your back. We're just going to bring our knees into our chests gently and give ourselves a little bit of a hug, a little bit of rock. A bit of rock? A bit of a rock. There we go. Today. And we're just going to gently place our feet on the ground. Hips go to the left, knees just flop to the right. Arms just going to flop out to the side. Our gaze just goes gently towards the left. Very, very subtle but very powerful spinal twist. Come back to center. Hips to the right, knees to the left. Gaze to the right. Shut down your eyes. Come back to center. Feet in towards the hips. Squeeze the knees together. Hands come beside our hips. Wriggle our shoulder blades down the back. We might just grab the outside edges of the mat here. Come up into our bridge. Hold here. Imagine there's an orange between our knee that we don't want to drop, so the knees are squeezing in towards one another. So hold here in our bridge for 10 breaths. We're going to wriggle our shoulder blades underneath our back. If that is available to you, clasp the hands at the lower back. Just a gentle back opening to counteract all that beautiful forward bending we did in standing today. And the hips a little higher. Don't let go of that orange in the knees. Make an orange juice. We're squeezing it nice and tight. And let it go, my friends. Send the legs long and come into a place of full release, relaxation, and letting go. You have well and truly deserved this amazing place of sanctuary and surrender after our very dynamic and fun No Hands Mum class today. So connect with your breath. Notice any tension left in the body. Just allow it to melt. Allow it to let go, release, soften. And find stillness. Once all that tension, that fidgeting is kind of whisked away, find that deep stillness, that deep calmness in your body. That calmness in the mind, like the glassy waters of the river. That very first light. Our body is calm, our mind is calm, we can better see ourselves, see who we truly are. When you're ready, gently and slowly send the hands up overhead. Just take a big stretch here. Really enjoy the sensations. And then we're going to roll over onto a side that suits you, using your arm as a pillow. And Marilyn is well and truly passed out. Oh, that's adorable. When we're ready, come on up into seated. And just savor. Good work, guys. You did amazing. I'm like so proud of you for finishing this class with no hands, no wrist weight at all. So we're going to take a moment to give ourselves a pat on the back. So congratulations for carving out this time for ourselves this morning. Carving out some time for our body and breath. And when we're ready, we're going to take a big arm circle all together, up overhead, fingertips touch, back to heart center. Lots of love and gratitude, my beautiful yogis. Namaste.